Welcome to Hafa, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die Guam, here that I come alive from. Come just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. How good to man, everybody has one. No wish on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the true, watch the whole place rise. Hafa, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to 2 months, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies bridge when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang, strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa hour, Guam. Welcome to Hafa hour, Guam.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jeff's Pirates Cove in beautiful Ipen Telefofo, Tocha, Guam, USA. This is episode, what is it? 27?
27.
Season 2. The date today is January 25th, 1926. So we got a great show lined up for you today. We got Charlie and the Doc.
It's 2026, not 1926.
Oh, it's 2026. I'm 100 years off. You know? I think I was here then somehow. You know?
Merry Christmas.
Anyways, we got Charlie and the Doc, and we got Dave over there in the sidelines, and Andrea's here with us, and she's going to get started today.
Hi everyone. So we have, it's the last show of January 2026. And we've actually had a lot of, let me see. Yeah. So this is, bear with us, this is our first time, me over here and our producer over there in the UK, so there's a volume or an echo maybe. But we're gonna do a quick update. About a month, we've been running half hour.
Yep.
For this new year, and we have a new website up, and most important, our AI company built Jeff's game, or half hour game. So now, Doctor, want to showcase the,
Oh, yeah.
no, Charlie. The cards, yes. So now, this game that we've been playing, the +1 and -1, you can all play it with us every day. That's the big reveal. Every day you can go in and vote for the gubernatorial candidates, +1, -1, senators. We got Dave, who's actually on the game too, as well. And basically you get a chance to vote +1 and -1 every single day across all segments on Guam. And then people who win streaks, like you're voting every single day, you get a prize and you can come down. Sometimes it's going to be money. Sometimes it may be a gas card or it may be something else. But the deal is you have to play. And if you don't play, you can't win. And go to halfhour.com to play the Pirate Scorecard game. You can play along with Jeff, Doc, Charlie, and all the other guests that come and sit with us. So we're really excited about that. In addition to that, if you're not a part of the Hafa Hour broadcast channel, which can be found on our Facebook page, go and join. I think we all already have like 200 members so far.
Wow.
So those are people that get, in fact, excuse me, those people got access to the game before everyone else did, before we went live. So actually, while we're here running this show, at the end, the guys here on the stage will be doing their +1, -1, and you also can do it as well. Next week, the polls close at the end of, at 11 o'clock or 11 a.m. on Sundays on our website. So next week, we will have another winner. That's it.
That's terrific.
Okay, so join the broadcast channel. You get all the cool stuff first. We're going to have a lot of things coming out in this next month, February. And then Doc, Jeff, Charlie, they have some really cool things to announce as well. And so now Amber is going to come on. But where to go? HafaHour.com, and you'll see Pirate Scorecard. You can play the game along with us, and you get to win. So we're all about playing to win and disrupting Guam. So, all right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Andrea. Amber Bach.
Really, really slick. This show has a lot of production value, and we really thank Andrea and Tiggs for putting a lot of brain power into it. But speaking of brain power, looks like we've got some books.
These are the books that were written by Don Farrell that we have available in the gift shop right now. The Super Forts and CBs, and the Liberation, the most popular. And this is a new book. We've sold quite a few, The Brief History of Guam. So support Don. You know, I told you we should all be thinking of Don because he fell down and hurt himself. And we're hoping he's going to be over here to join us maybe next month, and we'll do some promotions with him. So what do you got today?
Okay, we got the Rasta Pirate tank top.
Beautiful. This is a new shirt. Turn it over, Doc. These tank tops are 100% cotton, very comfortable, made in North Carolina for us.
We also have the tie-dye tank top.
Now, this one's flashy, and I want to remind you to wash it by itself the first time, or you'll have pink socks.
Pretty.
Then we have the Don't Tread on Me tank
Now,
top.
the Don't Tread on Me is for the THAAD personnel up there, and we got a new shirt coming out for them real soon with a new design that Guy made for us.
So this is specifically for one group of
That is
people.
for the, well, I think the National Guard is running it and the Army, but they are the ones that run the missile defense systems.
Wow. So
And they're adding more, so they got more people coming.
can other companies do the same, or can they request for special editions like the THAAD people are doing?
Yeah, I'm making one right now for Dr. Nakasone,
Wow.
who did my titanium hips.
Yeah.
So I'm making a commemorative shirt for him that we'll have next week. And we're inviting him to come. You better write and join me, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then we have the Release the Kraken tank top.
What's a kraken?
Cuttlefish.
What's a kraken?
Really good.
That is this octopus-looking sea monster. That's German, okay?
It's banned on Guam.
Yeah.
The octopus.
Then we have our Rasta Skull tank top.
Volleyball type.
Champion.
The drinking barrel.
Our
Now,
bestseller.
this is the
Drinking
bestseller right
barrel.
now.
See
We've
this
been
one?
through about 600 of these.
Oh, can we sell? We'd love to support that and sell that down at the shop as well.
Whatever you want. Now, this is our newest logo that was designed with AI by my son Steven and Guy Grizzetti over there in North Carolina. And this is the Guam Pa. And we also have
Guama.
Guam Ma. Now, this is a popular shirt, and if you want one, come and get it soon. We have every size, even children, right?
Yes.
Yes, we have the youth available too. Very nice.
And then we have JPC sarongs.
Now, this is for you girls when you go to the beach, or even you guys. This is to wrap around you, and I'll tell you what, if you don't have one, there's something wrong with you.
Then we also have our honey.
This is the Mo Gold honey that we just harvested. We have 2 cases left in the gift shop. We sold over the first batch, all out, so we have 2 cases left. The beautiful Mo Gold.
Come on.
Delicious. Chains of Love honey. 5 different hot sauces available right now. These came from Florida. Some people say they're the best hot sauce they've ever had. They certainly got a cool label.
Yep. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Dave will sit here.
Yep.
Okay.
Dave, come on over and grab a seat.
Dave just got to put his bandana on correctly. He looks very sharp.
Now, I think we need to talk about politics, okay?
You think?
Well,
Favorite subject?
you noticed how much attention that Ada got, Tony Ada, and
DJ Cobble?
yeah, from cleaning up, right?
That was great.
Yeah, good publicity because it's something that we need all the time, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's the greatest theme, and it's going to help them a lot. My question is, why can't they continue and pick up the junk cars and go down and pick up the hard stuff that's in the back parking lots of Tumon and show an actual effort? And they're senators, right? They got some juice, right? They can make things move with public works or whatever. So let's turn this into a complete Guam cleanup. Even to help the tourists. I mean, these overlooks, to approach them with your car is dangerous, and they don't look good. They need to be cleaned up a little bit, maybe put some trash cans there, up here in Jonier, down in Inarahan or Maritzo. All those places need to be spruced up. And when I was reading about outsiders commenting on our tourism and everything like that, all we've been talking about is the truest thing of all. Clean up the island for the general population and the tourists simultaneously.
Absolutely.
Fix the sidewalks for everybody. Fix the intersections. My gosh, nothing has happened on these intersections. They're still not working.
Oh, yeah.
Why
Yeah,
can't anybody move on this?
And that's the question. And to answer a little bit of what you were asking, why can't we do it? I don't think that the government is going to be able to get the process going for us to be able to pick up the vehicles. We've been paying for it for the last couple of years, several years. I mean, you can count. We definitely been paying into the fund, and it's not happening. So one of the things that I keep proposing is the fact that, one, we collectively stop paying this recycling fee and not be like, we're not going to pay and we're just not. but create a different mechanism to either create a nonprofit where instead of paying into this government fund, we pay into this nonprofit, and we privately take care of picking up the vehicles. Because as you said, we could definitely do it a lot quicker, a lot faster, a lot cheaper than the government can.
I think we have to take another step further. Tony Atta doing a great job taking out the trash, helping clean up Guam. Let's take out the trash in terms of bad laws that no one apparently has any intention of following. The government is failing our people. They collect money claiming to take care of abandoned vehicles. Not happening.
No.
And the cash is being wasted. It's being apparently redirected. Department of Public Works claims it's not their responsibility. EPA claims it's not their responsibility. We've actually bought a car crusher. No one's using it. So this is a law that is trash. And so rather than turn good citizens into criminals for not paying their taxes, just get rid of the tax, Tony. If you're going to be throwing out trash, one of the trash is that stupid law, which apparently your own government doesn't want to run. And we can go down the line. We need less taxes and more good works. We need people to be celebrated for doing things. Tony's only following in the example of Harvest Christian Academy, which apparently collected several tons of trash when they went out picking up trash. And Harvest Christian Academy was just following the Korean Association, which had done that even earlier in the year. There's a lot of people picking up trash. So this is not unique to Tony Atta and his team, but good on them. They're probably the only gubernatorial team that has started. But let's complete the task, because you're a senator and your legislature is all about policy making. So make it the policy to only enact taxes that you plan to actually implement and utilize for the good of the people of Guam.
Between $3 to $4 million is estimated, is what they collect every year.
Where is it?
On this tax that we pay on vehicles.
And this tax has been going on for the last 5-6 years, so that's $30 million or more. Where is that money?
What were you going to say? You were going to say something, John?
Well, I was reading this week where they're going to start cleaning up these ships that are hazards to the navigation in the waterways.
Correct.
Well, this is a good time to get with those people, study a little bit about what it takes to dump these land metal, you got backhoes and trucks and containers and cars and buses. Find a place, find a way to put them to make a reef too.
Right.
Right now, while you've got this all going, use the barge or use whatever it takes to get rid of these cars. The thing is, who's supposed to be doing this?
The governor.
Well, where's the governor? Where's Josh? I mean,
Right.
We're not getting any action at all, right?
No action. And it's a process that runs through. So we pay into DRT. We know that's where we get our license, and then apparently goes all the way up to EPA. So EPA should be the ones that are releasing these POs so that these vehicles can be picked up. And from what I understood, and this was a couple of months back, when I checked, there was not one single PO that was officially released in order for these vehicles to be picked up. The vehicles that we've seen picked up, it's sort of like by force of hand. Everybody's made so much noise by these specific, and that's the only reason why these vehicles, and they've been done by private citizens. So the process, in my mind, doesn't work.
What senator is in charge of EPA?
Ooh, is it
Environmental.
Is that Sean? Is that Senator Gumutata maybe?
So that senator should be the one that is pushing this for us, right? If he's representing us, he should be telling EPA, look, it's time to figure out how to get rid of these vehicles, and let's do it now.
Right.
So I can get reelected.
Right.
And whatever, right?
And I don't understand. I mean, so you have Sabina as well, right? She's very big on the environment, and we have a lot of environmentalists. They love the land. They're protesting against, new bases and buildings, but they don't care about the cars and the vehicles on the side of the road, which are the worst environmental impact that you could have on the oil leaking and everything else on the ground. So we don't hear anything about that. That's what kind of baffles me, that we protest against certain things, but we allow other things to just happen.
And so it comes down to leadership, and that all politics is local. When you elect a leader here, you expect them to do something. They expect apparently for you to, forget that they're there so they can draw on their money. One of the big losers right now is Chris Barnett. It seems like ever since he got yelled at by the governor, he's gone into hiding. apparently he's willing to take his senatorial salary and all his perks and just kind of coast for the next year. Don't let him do it. Vote him out of office. We need new leaders. Don't vote for any incumbent who apparently doesn't want to work for you. I'm sitting next to a young man who's put his hat in the ring, and we're very proud to endorse him, Dave Duenas. Dave, you know, again, you've both been involved with politics. You've also been a commentator. This is, I think, everyone's agreeing, this is a critical election. We got $1 billion GovGuam budget. What do you see in the political landscape here? You're both a candidate, but also, I would say you've been a political observer for many years.
Yes,
Your comments.
absolutely. Well, you know, we do have a lot of brand new candidates coming out, number one, and I'm all about that. You know, career politician, I was never really a big fan of. You know, I think two or three terms consecutive, good, take a break. But the new candidates like myself, well, I'm not new, I've ran before, but I'm not a quitter. I'm going to keep going until I get in there. And all I want to do is be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. And my job would be to work with the other 14 public servants that are elected in there.
If you don't mind, I can toot your horn a little bit, because I know you're a modest guy, and maybe that's why you haven't been elected, because you've just been a little low key. Dave's been one of the brain trusts, I think, in good ideas on Guam, and he puts it into a form where the common man can read, common woman can read, and digest it for themselves. He's been writing a lot of really excellent editorials, so you can read what Dave's thinking about. In addition, he has his own radio show, and he's been doing broadcasting like what we've been doing, but on traditional radio for many years. In fact, produces a lot of some of the best shows on Guam. Can you talk a little bit about your career, your history, so the people of Guam might know?
Well, I'm a long time in the media, radio. Been in radio for probably aging myself a little bit, but
Into it?
getting up to 40 years. I've been in every radio station in Guam, K-Stereo, hit radio, all of them. I've since graduated to doing talk radio, which is really fun. It gives me the opportunity to listen. Operative word. Listen to the people. Listen to the issues. Don't just talk about it. Listen, and then try and come up with solutions about it. But I've been involved in the community in many different aspects. Former GovGuam employee, Air Force veteran, and in the community, we spoke about cleanups. We have what we call the Guam International Coastal Cleanup.
Yep.
That's my little baby. It's now going to be 32 years old.
When you say it's your baby,
I started it.
wow.
Yeah, this year will be the 32nd year.
Man, your hips must be pretty wide. That's a big program.
You
now,
know,
and a lot of
it's,
trash they picked up.
It is. You know, now it's up in the last coastal cleanup. I think they had 5,000 volunteers. Very, very successful event.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of it.
Well, I can remember a time not that long ago to me, because I was a kid then, when the beaches were dirty, and everybody wondered why. And then I guess a Native American guy came and had to shed a tear and said, "Clean up your beaches." And I guess you listened to that plea, because I mean, it wasn't too long ago that everywhere was dirty, right? People just threw their trash on the side of the road, and the government didn't seem to care. There was no trash pickup. But through an initiative led by a local guy who cares, Guam is cleaner. We're just saying it's not clean enough. In order for us to have a product that we can all be proud of, and one where we'd be proud to live, we just need to take it to the next level and really get our island better. And those abandoned vehicles, those abandoned white goods, the trash that people just throw on the side of the road because they don't care, we need to do something about that. And it has to be done every day. So,
Absolutely.
And I mean, I would step in real quick. And if somebody was to ask me, I would say things are getting worse when it comes to trash and graffiti, and just everybody just having the audacity to be able to, dump a vehicle, abandoned vehicle, almost in front of St. John's, right, and Upper Tumon.
yes.
Right. I mean, they're getting as crazy to do that. Graffiti. I did this on I took the route that our guests would take coming out of Tumon, out of the hotels, and coming down St. Anthony's, and all you saw, if you looked right, if you weren't driving and you looked right, building after building after building after building with graffiti. Now, that, the mayor has said they've been trying to go after it, right? Get the folks, and they did arrest somebody, right? They picked somebody up for writing graffiti, but they let them go. And so, are our laws strong enough to be able to detain the folks that are committing these crimes? Number two, the mayors need funds, more money to be able to combat this, unfortunately. Because not only do they have to fix the roads that don't pertain to them because they have to be fixed by DPW, but the constituents call, and they're not just, they don't sit back and just be like, that's not our road. If there's a serious pothole, they go out and they fix it, but with their funds, they use, village funds to be able to do this that doesn't pertain to them. It's part of the government. The government should be fixing these roads, painting everything that needs to be painted, putting up signs, making the lights work. All that should be part of the government run. But the mayors are the ones that are using their funds to make all this happen, and they don't have enough money right now.
It sounds like a cry for help, a cry for better leadership, a cry to replace Lulian Gurro and Josh Chinoro by somebody who gives a damn. I think Charlie Hermosa is making an excellent statement to announce the arrival of Guam's winning team, a team of leaders who will step forward into this election, just like Mr. Duenas, and put their hats in the ring and strive to get your vote, Guam. So breaking news on this podcast today, we are announcing the candidacy of our captain, Jeff Pleadwell, and his partner, Charlie Hermosa, who now has his own song. If you missed it, listen to our new song, because we celebrate leadership and we celebrate new ideas. And actually, these are old ideas. If you go back to Jeff's first show, he's talking about all these issues. So good on him for not giving up, and he's rallying people to his cause. So, Governor Jeff, this is not your first time to throw your hat in the ring. Welcome to 2026. The last time you ran might have been 1926, but the people of Guam would like to hear from you, sir.
Well, my whole thing is I want Guam to get better before I die, okay?
Okay.
And I'm getting old.
But I'm your doctor.
And I'm suffering through all the problems, like, I went to GW. I got a fine education. I went to Aga Junior High. I got a fine education.
That's nice of you to say.
But I have had to send all my children and my grandchildren to private schools to ensure they get a good education and the proper supplies and what I feel is a proper supervision. So I've watched the public school system over the past 60 years just go down the tubes. I've watched the hospital. We all know all the problems. And to tell you the truth, nobody has fixed it. And one of the reasons I believe they can't fix it is because they're all shackled and tied up by political obligations or family needs that they can't change anything or whatever. So as far as running as an independent with Charlie and you run as independent,
I'm your treasurer.
Dave wants to be a what? Are you a repo or a demo?
I want to be an independent.
You want to be, yeah, well, we need to get our voting laws so more people could run as independent, because a lot of people, they already know these same politicians aren't moving for them.
Right.
There's nothing new. We're going to interview politicians here and we're going to listen to them and listen to that, but nothing's going to change.
Right.
I'll guarantee you.
And something that you're saying, Jeff, I was just thinking is the independent movement for Guam, right? The sort of from a party perspective, but when you talk to the voters, the folks that are actually going to go out and vote, they're looking at all the candidates. Usually from when you talk to families, they vote right straight down the line. It's a family, choice that this is they're either Republican or Democrats. But I think that going into 2026 and the state of Guam, I think people really need to make the decision that best fits them in making sure that Guam moves forward. Because if you look at it from the right or you look at it from the left, you're not going to get somebody that may do good for the people. And I think that we've had this discussion before, Dave. And Dave and I, we've been on talk shows together, and it's You would not be able to tell, who's Republican, who's Democrat, because at the end of the day, what we talk about and what you just said, Jeff, right, is Guam. That's what you love. That's what you care about. Your family, Guam. That should be sort of the perspective that everybody takes when they go out to the voting polls is Guam. Guam should be number one.
Recognize that the Republicans or the Democrats are not changing the island at all, okay? They might promise, I was looking at old ads for Camacho and things. Change, that's all they ever say. But they don't do anything.
Nope.
They just promise you this. And the people, I'll tell you, if 50% or less of the people are voting, this is a thing we need to work on. And
Oh, yes,
whether,
absolutely.
I feel a write-in candidacy is good too.
Yeah.
Because we have set up a political system here that is grueling to run for office. We need more attention given to public forums, and we need more people out trying to encourage people to register to vote. More and more. In the schools, we need that. We need employers to tell their employees, it's time for the private sector to run this island. We've seen this government of Guam. We've seen that there's twice as many employees that are needed, but we condone it. If we vote for them, we're more than condoning it. But we need to have, I don't want to use the word radical, but I will. Right, Doc? You like radical,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
We need radical change for the better. We need a fine hospital. We need an updated prison and tax and revenue building. And we need everything to work. We have plenty of money. We need to privatize. We need to get the government of Guam away from jobs they cannot do, which is most. How many people work in the GovGuam? Half?
If you're lucky.
Those
We'll
poor
find out
people are
tomorrow.
doing all the work. You
Yeah.
know that?
Yep.
The other people, and I feel sorry for the ones doing the work because they got to sit there and look, oh my God, I'm doing Jesus Cruz's work over here. He hasn't done anything for 20 years, and I've been carrying his load.
I feel sorry for the taxpayers though, because 80% of what we're giving as taxes is going into personnel salary, whether they work or not. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So to clarify for the listening public, who's running for governor and lieutenant governor in this?
We're still talking
Is it
about
this
this.
is-
This is,
okay.
no,
Oh,
this is a
There's
forum
gonna be
of forum, okay?
Yeah, we're pirates. We're
We're
gangsters.
weighing
We don't
things
believe
out.
in titles.
Does it make a
Yeah,
difference?
what are you doing? You troublemaker? So, hey, can we focus? We're talking to you folks out there. You got to register. You got to care. You got to vote. This election is way too important. And so, just to maybe correct the pirate, because we don't want to miss it. It's the Republicans and the Democrats who have failed. They haven't been able to do anything. And yeah, they've been lying to you for the last 50 years. It doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat, they've been lying to you. They keep saying they're going to have change. Ain't no change. So the big change today on the podcast is that we have two independent people coming together to form one. And whenever you have that kind of activity and there's love involved, usually there's children and unprotected sex. But today, no, we're creating a gubernatorial team for the ages.
Well,
an independent team. Yes, sir.
Because similar to Jeff, my love and my priority is Guam. And that's the
Right.
way. That's
There's
the way,
already love.
And that's the way it's got to be viewed across the board. Guam's got to be first. When everybody thinks about when you walk out that door and you're driving on the roads and you see the roads not being worked on, the lights not working, you see people walking on the side of the road because there are no sidewalks. I mean, all those things should run through your mind and ask yourself, why is it that we're in this position? Guam should be so much better.
Yep.
And when you talk to a lot of Monuncos, I mean, they remember, they in their minds, Guam used to be so much better than it is now.
Right.
And the reason why I bring that up is because when you match up to what you were talking about, the amount of money that we're collecting,
Yes.
and these surpluses,
Yep.
now we're getting another surplus between $20 to $30 million.
And pay raises to government and Guam
And
employees.
so how is it that the government is making money? How is it that the government is collecting more than they thought they were going to be collecting?
It's
And
called
yet they hammer and hit everybody for more taxes, more fees, more money, and nothing gets done. So the unbalance and the unfairness That is what everybody should be thinking about.
I think we have to come back to that because there's a chance that that's going to change. But the answer is it's the federal buildup. It's the amount of money that Donald Trump is sending to Guam that's carrying this current administration and allowing them to spend $1.5 billion on themselves. But if we could stay on track, because we do actually apparently have a syllabus, we are going to challenge this newly formed team. What are you going to do about workforce development, sir? Captain, we have a group of people listening. A lot of them are young, ambitious, but they're wondering, how am I going to make myself competitive in this new environment? And let's just assume that the military buildup does continue. What will your administration do in your first 100 days to try to help workforce development on Guam?
Well, I think we'll go into the public school structure and make it a lot stronger for people that want to enter trades and learn trades, and focus on what is needed on Guam. What would keep our people here that graduate from high school? Also, I would like to see the university take a lead in getting rid of these rhinoceros beetles and this chains of love and pollution of this river over here. I mean, using our resources to help everybody is what should be done. I would like to see the Guam Water Works privatized. I would like to see the Guam Power privatized. Everything that isn't operating efficiency, I would like to see privatized. But I want to see the good GovGuam employees working in that private sector. I don't care if they're double dipper, triple dipper, whatever, I don't care. I just want to see things work. The problem with Guam is we have 13,000 government employees, and the most efficient, nothing's efficient.
Nope.
The only thing that's efficient is the payroll for the government of Guam, for them, right?
Yep.
They get plenty of money to do whatever.
And even Josh Tenorio won't deny it as this candidate for governor, that this government of Guam workforce that we have right now, it's inefficient, it doesn't serve the needs of the people of Guam, and it is a parasite on the soul of the people. So great point. You want to increase private sector workforce, get them involved in some of the solutions that Guam needs. Charlie, what's your perspective?
Yeah, from a workforce development, I think one of the things that we've been working on right now is, understanding the reality of what our teachers and educators are being presented with. So what I mean by that is, how do the teachers, if the teachers don't have the tools to be able to teach the students and to what they're going to be looking for upon graduation, then how do we get them ready? So we have a lot of teachers that we're trying to work with and trying to give the tools so that they have the ability to talk to these kids. And what we're trying to do is bridge the gap with industry and the teachers to understand what is it that these industry partners are looking for in our graduates. And some of the soft skills that we've been talking about for months now is when we did a survey with some of these industry partners, was the fact that looking for somebody that shows up on time, right? Somebody that can communicate, right? The skill sets, as long as they have the basics, the skill sets can be taught by the industry partners, whether it's communications, whether it's HVAC. I mean, they can get them through the different, even engineering, they can get them through those pipelines. But getting them to show up on time, making sure that their hygiene is in order, making sure that they can communicate. Those are the things that we're lacking right now. But we want to be able to reach out to the teachers and have them be part of this solution. And so when they're teaching curriculums that are outdated, 20, 30 years outdated, it doesn't make sense. You lose the students. The students are not engaging. The first thing they're thinking about is, upon graduation, I'm going to go off island. And the fact of the matter is that we have an amazing workforce here. We just need to ensure that we develop it in a way that other countries have. Singapore's always been a great example to look after, right? They thought about developing fuel refineries, but they backtracked to 20, 25 years. They put their students through engineering, and then when they had a good core of engineers, local engineers and chemists and all that, then they turned on the refineries. They didn't do it backwards. So again, we got to be able to think and the vision of what we want the island to look like.
And
we have the workforce.
We need produce. We need fish.
Absolutely.
We need to feed the people of Guam, and this is what we should be going after. The education to teach people and the expertise. Now, we had the lady here last week, and when she was talking about, farming and everything. I just wanted to mention, what I was talking about was hydroponic farming.
Correct.
And what she was talking about is more
Physical,
getting the dirt
yeah.
farming that doesn't seem to be congenial. So my thought is a whole new upstep and make it hydroponic and
Correct.
put it in concrete buildings or wherever it needs to be.
Correct. Or even containers, right?
Sure,
I mean,
well, whatever
yeah.
houses what is working, but, we do have typhoons and we do have a lot of environmental issues here. So having a nice, well-built,
Secured, yeah.
strong concrete, air con, depending on what you need. Maybe you just need airflow, air con's very expensive, so.
Right.
So imagine you have succeeded in convincing these people that you are the leaders that they need. And so now you are in charge of a $1.5 billion GovGuam budget. You're also feeding 15,000 people, 7,000 of which will not show up tomorrow to work because they have a rash, and 10,000 excuses why they don't want to go to work. Or they're going to piss positive we actually tested them for ICE. So you have a dysfunctional workforce, at least half of it, that you're going to have to come to terms with. And I'm going to just say point blank, the current leadership, like Sabrina Salas Mantanani, has said cut, cut, cut. We have people at the Guam Memorial Hospital, Melanie Mendiola, who used to be part of GITA, saying that she's going to lay off people at the Guam Memorial Hospital by February. And she has yet to do it. You have a whole bunch of folks who have made promises that they didn't keep, have not kept, to reduce GovGuam's workforce in order to apparently just pay the bills that are due now. But imagine that you are in office on January 24th next year as the governor and lieutenant governor of Guam. How are you going to lay off all those people, Charlie? Let me let you out though, because you already answered a tough question. Dave Duenas, you're the speaker of the Guam legislature, and these bozos are saying they're about to lay off half the workforce and use that money that they save from frivolous salaries to fund workforce development, including hopefully growing some farmers and fishermen, using monies to help subsidize hydroponics, do a bunch of stuff to help improve the trades training on Guam. You're the speaker, yay or nay?
Wait, let me, if I could just set up just even more.
Sure.
What we would want is we wouldn't be looking at a $1.3. We would slash the budget. So we're trying to cut the budget. Let's just say we want to go in with, we're going to cut it down to $800 million.
Well, so you're going to cut the budget, are you going to reduce my taxes?
Well, no, so this is where the discussion would start. We want to be able to get down to $800 million budget. Right?
Yeah, but
how are you going to do that?
It's going to go down because the military spending is going to slowly go away. They had a great article today in the PDN, Mr. Martinez.
Yes.
Former GITA
Correct.
administrator.
Right.
I actually texted him and I said, really good article.
Yes.
And he's right. The 1.3, we're not going to see that 5 years down the road. It's going to be gone.
Correct.
It might very well be 800 million.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, we got to do what we can, what we got, what we have now, use it to the best possible things that need to be addressed.
Well, but that's the point, because similar to some of the news press releases that were done by the governor and lieutenant governor this past week, their reaction to the increase in port tariffs were like, it's not the right time. We're going into a state of inflation, and you're like, we knew this 6-7 years ago, and the point being is, we understand, right? And this is where we should be talking about. We talk about how the military is going to start drawing down. We've all seen the charts. We've all seen the graphs. We see the years, the peak come down. We should now, right now, at this point, start adjusting ourselves to be able to be in a better position once that is completely drawn down. If we wait until the year before or 2 years before this happens, we're going to be in serious problems, because if we do not fix our different pillars that provide us with the monies that we need in order to operate the government, and we don't have the tourists, we don't have a new industry, and the only thing that we're relying on is the military, and as that gets drawn down, we don't have anything to supplement. This is now, that's sort of the description I wanted to give you, because right now we should be talking about how we're going to look 8 years from now. Like,
Absolutely.
we should be taking into account and adjusting now, and I don't see any of that happening.
Folks, like, share, subscribe. This conversation is about to get hot because we're going to start pressing a little more pedal to the metal. So like, share, and subscribe. Dave, you deflected the question, so I'm going to give it over to the pirate. Governor Jeff, the speaker, has tried to weasel his way out of the confrontation. But you are the governor, and apparently Charlie's ready to already cut the budget, sacrifice $700 million. But it still remains, you have a payroll of 15,000 people. First 100 days, what are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm going to test them all for ICE.
Okay, day one.
And I'm going to
30% flunk. So
So-
you just got rid of 30% of the GovGuam workforce. Happy birthday.
And then I'm going to do a study and see what is actually getting done, what the jobs are, describe what the job takes, and find only the qualified to do that. And if you're not doing it, you'll just be degraded, or you'll be working in the private sector.
So that sounds like
Because I want an elite government of Guam, and I want to change the name to Guam. Can we please do that?
Yes, sir, you're the governor.
I'm so sick of saying Guam. You know what I mean?
Guam. So you're saying
sounds
it's
so much better.
Yes, sir. So you're saying a desk audit, which will probably trim another, 2,000 jobs. And so now you got to go to the speaker because he's trying to fight for his political life. And all those 7,000 people are now banging on your door and all the other senators' door. So how are you going to handle this?
I echo Jeff's. I've been an advocate for years that we need to have a desk audit, GovGuam-wide, not locally. We're not going to do the audit using GovGuam auditor because we're back to the PARE and whatever system. Off-island, independent auditor. Through attrition, GovGuam employees who are retired, through the audit, we'll weed out the ones that are duplicating their jobs and get rid of them, not get rid of them, but let them retire. And that's it. It would reduce the government's, our government spends 85-90% on payroll.
Okay.
So all that money we're going to save, we can put it to better use.
Fortunately for our viewers, this is not a theoretical. President Trump came into office a year ago and did just exactly as apparently what you guys are talking about. But his timeline was really compressed. I think he accomplished everything you just talked about within his first 60 days. What's your timeline for Guam?
Is that my question?
It is your question because you're the legislature and you're supposed
That
to
would
set
be
the policy.
something I would definitely, as a single sitting senator, should I make it in there?
The speaker.
You can't do nothing, but I'll get the other 14 and come along with the idea and say, we need to do a desk audit immediately. 14,000 employees in the government will reduce that. And with the drug testing, get 30% out of the way right off the bat. We'll be sitting pretty as far as funding, revenues.
And sorry to dominate the show, but I'm going to bring it back to Charlie and just say, fortunately for Speaker Dave and Governor Jeff, the desk audit is about to commence because within the next 30 days, the legislature is going to start to review the proposal for the next budget for 2027. So you have a bunch of senators sitting in office, many of whom who are going for higher office, so won't be here next year. In fact, several of them are running for governor. So you, as the future governor of Guam or lieutenant governor, you guys hash it out. How are you going to influence this current legislature? Let's just say you're the governor right now to enact your changes to the workforce development, both privately as well as GovGuam, which again, what we're really talking about is slashing the government in Guam in half, taking the savings and putting it into the private workforce, creating opportunities for young people here to be competitive.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're one. We both need each other to be able to, we got to be able to work with both sides. So whether it's Democrat or Republicans, they have to understand that everything that we're trying to do from an executive standpoint is to do the right thing for the people of Guam. If they don't see that, there is a problem. So if they bring up and they give us legislation that has an impact on my life, on my family's life, on everybody's life on Guam, we're going to pass it through. Now, when you look at other things that they've been trying to pass through, yeah, obviously there's things that don't really pertain and we're going to have to negotiate. But that is where meeting in the middle between both sides is going to have to come in. So negotiations is a very big part of this. And I don't think that we're doing that well. I don't think we negotiate well right now between the executive and the legislative side.
Well, if I could just talk about the Guam Memorial Hospital, the governor has called 5 emergency sessions where she's tried to basically get them to sit down and agree with her.
No. That's not negotiations. That's twisting your arm and saying, you need to do what I tell you to do. That's not negotiation. So as much as you think whether it's right or wrong about, whatever your perspective is on the president, he says one thing, but that is all part of his negotiation tactics. When he goes out in the public and he says these things and everybody's thinking that he's off, those are the things that he brings to the table as negotiating tactics for him to be able to get both what he wants and what the other side wants.
I agree with you almost always, but in this case, I'm going to just point out Venezuela. He didn't negotiate with nobody. He made a unilateral decision to take Maduro back to Brooklyn, and then he told the senators as it was happening, so they had no chance to stop it. So there are some times when the executive needs to exercise its almost dictatorial powers.
Wait, no, come on.
Not him.
No.
I'm talking about her.
No.
When she locked down the government.
No, what I'm saying, Doc, how many times, Doc?
Yes, sir.
For 6 months, he was saying, I got my Marines out there.
Yeah.
For 6 months,
Okay.
he was telling everybody exactly what he was going to do. So
He didn't say, we're going to go into Maduro's house and bring him back to Brooklyn.
He said, I have CIA already operatives on the ground.
Yes.
He said that we're going to start doing a ground
He
operation.
gave the guy a chance.
He gave the guy a chance.
Said he was going to send him to Cuba.
Yes. Exactly.
But I'm just pointing out,
so for
you're the
this whole-
governor, you're going to have to make some unilateral decisions like this governor has done to condemn our friend's land, Wise Owl. Again, you're going to have power that you don't have now. And this legislature is going to waffle because there's 15 of them that want to make everybody happy. So what are you going to do? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
But at least you agree with. You said you disagree with me, but now, I mean, for the
With
facts that we
President
just
Trump?
about
Yeah.
Venezuela.
Yeah, but again, that's neither here nor there. What are we going to do? Because right now we can't even decide on a site for a hospital, right?
Right.
So even though the governor has the dictatorial powers to do things, she has not accomplished it. And so now we're stuck in a situation where nothing's happening. But I'm saying this is a bigger problem. We're trying to cut the government of Guam's workforce in half. We're trying to lay off 7,000 people. We are. I agree with you. But how are you going to make that happen if the legislature does the same stall tactics as it's doing with the Guam Memorial Hospital?
And again, outside looking in, the one thing that I see and that I look at it from a personal perspective, I've been in operations, I've been in sales. And working with operation is probably one of the toughest things because they only see things one way, right? In sales, it's a completely different tactic, right? And so, when I look at how they've been trying to sell the operation of building this new hospital, I don't think the sales side has been done a good job because if you come to me, Doc, and if you're very transparent and you're going to say, listen, we're going to build a new hospital,
right?
And I'm going to say, and there's going to be land around there. And whoever owns these lands are potentially going to make money because now once we run the infrastructure, they're going to be able to build, they're going to sell new homes, they're going to sell new apartments, they're going to make money. There's folks that are actually going to make money off that. I can't hide that. But the fact of the matter is that the current people living there right now are also going to be able to tap into the infrastructure and they're going to live better. So you are going to have people that are going to be rich. There's no other way about it. There's no other way around it. We have a new medical facility, and our current community is going to be able to tap into the infrastructure we have. Now, have we heard that? No, it's it has to be here because of the timing and the roads and come on, that whoever is the salesperson should be fired.
Well, she quit. She's now singing over at the DC. So, but let me take you off a little bit off the hook because you just answered the question, but you didn't eliminate it. You're saying that you would talk to people, and it sounds like you even talk to people that don't like you. So, like, Mr. Trump, for all his, bad graces and bad manners, he talks to people that he knows doesn't like him. I mean, he talks to everybody. And he's so confident in himself that he believes he can sell them on the solution. Governor Liu is insecure. She won't talk to me. She hasn't talked to Dr. Shea. She talks at us.
Wow.
No.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
thing is, the reason
right.
her thing failed, boys and girls, is because she ignores the people that she knows are going to come against her and probably convince her that she's wrong. So she just talks to the people that are going to say yes. And of course she's wrong. So she is a lot like, I guess, Putin and Xi. She surrounds herself with people that are going to agree with her. So how's she going to make progress? And you know why you're failing, Lou? Because you've surrounded yourself with cowards that just want the paycheck. This is the definition of a lousy GovGuam worker.
And even Donald Trump called Senator Pocahontas. Called her on the phone. They hate each other. They hate each other.
Yes. Yes.
But 2 weeks ago, he
You don't get the right as a veteran to tell everybody what to do because you almost got shot. In fact, you didn't even go, bastard. You were sitting on the sideline. So not all veterans are the same, and not all of them. You know what's that called? Stealing valor, right? You know, if you don't got shrapnel in you, you know, Donald Trump has the same problem with veterans because they come at him as if they're all the same, right? And you got a bunch of guys right now are not retired, didn't earn full retirement benefits, and they're like, you know, trying to squeeze the system. So there's a lot of corruption in the VA system. So don't let anybody be blind to it. And then you got a lot of veterans who use force. They want to use threats to try to get their way. Well, fuck you. So the idea is that the governor calls me to say, look, they're going to put a bullet in your head. I mean, it's literally what she said. So it wasn't a kind call. She was gloating that I got the veterans so riled up on Veterans Day. And I'm sorry if you got pissed off because you're not the dude I was trying to piss off. It was my cousin who's a drunk and he knows it. And the thing is, he needs to get help, but he shouldn't be going in front of the legislature trying to then squeeze the balls of the system to get more benefits that he doesn't deserve. Have a nice day.
but again, kind of, obviously everybody has their own perspective.
So does Donald Trump.
I have my own perspective on veterans, Doc, and obviously, but going back to your point about the communication that you have with the governor, like, wouldn't I mean, what if?
You should call me more frequently.
What if she calls you and the other docs and says, listen,
it's not a what if. We've had meetings with her early in the thing, and we let her know we were on her side. I mean, we were trying to help her. We were all part of the workforce to help get us through COVID. I mean,
so what happened?
Hubris.
A new hospital came up.
Yeah, the issue regarding the new hospital, she tried to shove it down her throat. She knew we weren't going to go with her. She thought she had enough political collateral to make it go. She's very confident in herself. Unfortunately, time's up, baby doll. You ain't getting what you want, and this could have gone another way. Because honestly, I don't care where it is. I could have been your champion for Miguel, but I ain't. Point is, you're going to be the governor, right? So she's in our rearview mirror, and you're going to be the next governor whenever he lets you be, or you guys negotiate. You're still going to have to cut 7,000 jobs. How are you going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, easily. I mean, it's exactly
easily.
I mean,
Just tell people they got to do their work, okay?
It's exactly what Jeff said. And I will tell you,
Easy as
if you ask every single supervisor manager, give me a job description of everybody that's doing their job and exactly what they do, you will be able to see it and exactly read right through exactly. In a department where you have administrative functions that are being done by 5, and you see that you have 2 secretaries, 3 secretaries, why is that? Why do you have 3 people managing paperwork?
Let's put names on it, right? That guy, Dwayne Kanata, he's a special project coordinator at Fix Simon Sanchez High School. You got that lady up at Public Health who's supposed to be the deputy director, even though Peter John Camacho is still there. You've got all these deputy directors and all these special project coordinators, and they all have names, and they're all making $75,000. Why are they there, Governor?
No, absolutely. Right. And you look at those jobs and you look at those directors that are making over $240,000. A year.
You're talking about Rory. You know, Rory apparently, Rory's apparently about getting ready to get fired. I got a list here. Rory, because I guess, pissed off the governor with that tariff thing. He's about to get fired. Looks like Fred Berdalio resigned on our last show, Department of Corrections, because things are falling apart. Steve Ignacio at GPD looks like he's next. Ina Carrillo over at PBS has already resigned.
But she got rehired, so she's over at GDP.
That's what we heard. And what does that say about Regine Bisco-Lee? Maybe she's going to run for senator, because you can't have two people like that in one agency, can you? Mm-hmm. Especially when one of them used to be the director for media, public relations, right? So the drama continues, but it does look like on the whole, people are abandoning the ship of I'm in, right? Or I'm out, or whatever.
But and would really like to give Dave a little bit more time on.
Dave's a good listener.
No.
I'm listening.
No. But Dave, and we've had several, and you've had great op-eds, and the one thing that I really thank you is the fact that you do call it out, but you do offer solutions. Now, whether people want to agree with you or not, that's up to them. But at least you're proposing things that could potentially help. What are everybody always asks me, like, what are the things what's on your agenda if you were to get in and
I'm not the only one.
but what is in your, what would be, like, if somebody was to say, okay, Dave, that is the dude on environment, or that is the guy on infrastructure, or that is the guy in transportation, or that is the guy in the hospital, what would you be like? What is your agenda going to look like?
Well, from day one, should I become a senator, to let every single one of the other 14 understand that we're not here for the party now. We're here for the people, period. So work with that mindset. Matter of fact, if the bylaws of the legislature allow, I'll put a sign out there in the front door saying, leave your politics at home. Put it in a box. That will be the priority. Then we can tackle every single issue. Every time you run for office, they'll ask you, what will be your number one issue? I can't pick one. You know why? All of them are issues to me. From abandoned vehicles, to the hospital, to the schools, to the road, everything. You're just one senator. There's 14 others. Collaboratively, we get together and tackle all of them.
Right. But agenda-wise, but you can have the agenda. So, like, for example, if I was to get in, I want to be the infrastructure. I want to be, because the infrastructure really touches so many aspects of the island, and it could really, really expand on the villages and people's lives. So
I would say, for the quality of life, the infrastructure, the roads, the sidewalks,
right?
Yes, the lights, the cleanliness of the island. I want to see an ocean view everywhere I look. I want to take out the thing and either pave it or grow something there that looks good, that doesn't grow bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
And every telephone pole, or take away the telephone pole, put everything under a sidewalk all the way around the island.
The only one that's doing well here is the politicians, the elite Spanish. Do you believe that? Absolutely. Thank you.
First class. We're wrapping up the show. It is another quick hour. We have an important exercise to do in just a few minutes, but before we wrap up, like, share, and subscribe. And Dave, I mean, there's just a lot going on, right? And
Absolutely, yeah.
You've jumped into it. What are 3 issues that you think we need to pay attention to moving forward as we start to select our next leaders?
The economy, cost of living, the roads, well, all of them.
Yeah,
We keep going.
Yeah, we've talked about it all.
Thank you for the opportunity to say something. The number one thing people gotta understand, 2026, the election's coming up. You get a lot of good folks running, a lot of new ones. It don't matter if you get registered. What matters, you actually get out and vote. We hear about, we got the highest record registered voters, and then election day comes, you get less than 50% out there. And that only benefits the incumbents. The newcomers are going to be a long shot to get in there. So number one, get out and vote. I don't care if you're registered. Number one, get out and vote. You can make a difference.
Okay, thank you.
There are some people that won't be able to get to vote this year, and it's unfortunately, it's because they've passed away, you know? So there's a lot of good people that we're seeing their names and their life story and the obituaries. And people are taking time in these last couple of weeks to celebrate their life, and I guess one of those events is happening today. Jeff, the place is already full. It's beautiful down here. Apparently some serious ceremonies going on here, and this is not the first time. Jeff's has really kind of become the home for a lot of people, and there are even people who have left their remains with you. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening this afternoon at Jeff's?
This afternoon, we're having a beautiful, normal day with a lot of vitamin C coming in. I think the occasion you're talking about is for Tommy Beato, but that's not today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's another date coming up.
I thought it was today.
No, it was, I mean, I would know it if it was today.
No, I'm sure you would.
I think it is going to be, I want to say the 3rd of February. We're still talking to the family, but we are going to have a celebration of life for the great Tommy Beato, and all his band members and friends that ever played with him will all be invited down here to partake. And we've got a beautiful setting for it. You know, I've had many different, probably some of the best occasions ever, anywhere, right here.
Well, and then just recently I heard people talking about it. They had this big party to celebrate, I guess, Christmas. I think it's okay to mention the company. I mean, because they have their own great restaurant, but Jamaican Grill packed your not just your restaurant, but the whole area with a lot of people. But there was still room for more. What do you do when you have a big corporate party and says, hey, we're going to take up Jeff's Pirates Cove? Does that mean other people can't come in and enjoy the Cove as well?
No, I really don't do that. I have large parking lots on both sides for everybody to park. The seating capacity is 440 plus whatever tents I put out.
Wow.
If I'm doing a buffet like we did for Jamaican Grill, I will have people work specifically on that buffet and that menu, and then my other people will take care of the regular customers that come in. So we don't turn anybody down, and of course, it gets busier and takes a little while longer, but we tell people you can go see our museum or walk on the beach. You can give us your phone number, we'll call you when it's time for your seat. But we're 20 acres, and we can accommodate pretty much. And you know, Doc, people love this place. Yep. And one thing that about all the failures of people in business like that, and I have come very close to failure many, many times, but there's a perpetuation here because of you guys and Andrea and Mies and all of us that levitates this place up in spirit. And you've got the beautiful nature out there. Yeah. So everything you need is right here at Pirates Cove. And if I was going to set an example for the GovGuam in my performance, I would say, look at my 47 years of making my place the cleanest and the best I could do. Given the ocean side, I do that all myself. You know, GVB takes care of Tumon. Yeah. I take care of this. The road out here.
Clean.
I'm constantly mowing that and helping my mayor and everybody clean it. I do that, and I haven't stopped. And this is what the government needs to do to set an example for everybody that visits here, is we can do it. Yep. And I get upset with GVB because they don't send me enough customers. I say, send people here because they love it. Look at all the reports. They're always happy. They love the scene here. Yep. But because I'm not politically inclined or declined or bent over, I don't know what, I don't get to play. But I get people, oh, we have a group that wants to come to Jeff's Pirates Cove from GVB. Can you please give us a discount? Can you please give it to them free? And I'm saying, yeah, and then you want me to do a tour and you want me to do everything else, and sure, you guys have so much money, $40 million a year, and you're taxing me 5% or 4.5%, plus my employees' wages, and you want me to discount for you. The government has all the money. Why are you asking me for a discount? You're killing me.
Yeah, but I think also to that, Jeff, I think you also give back to other businesses as well. Because every time I brought your name up, he was like, oh, I just saw him. He was, eating lunch or, when you go down to the.
No, I'm a commerce entrepreneur guy.
Yeah.
I go out, I walk around Tumon,
Yeah.
I go to Moses, I enjoy supporting people.
Yeah.
And I want my success to go to everybody else too, because, everything's comma. Comma with an exclamation point.
Absolutely. And the last thing is, once we start bringing people here via drone, but until then, have we ever thought about bringing folks via boat? Have there any boats come down, or is there a way to be able to bring folks from, off the dock and one of the marines there?
They had a jet ski race around the island?
Yeah,
They
there's
used to
been
come-
yacht club races and jet ski races, but you have to consider on Guam, the way we are physically laid out. Up north, there's a huge current. It's called double reef, that area. And down south, there's like the Bermuda Triangle. So not every boat can just come here.
Right.
That's why I've been advocating for years to put back a rescue ramp over here.
Yeah.
That they took out when they demolished the Axion ramp down there. This is a very hard part of the island. If, say, an airplane ever crashed, or say we ever had any incident,
Right.
everybody has to come from the other side of the island.
Oh, wow.
And this is the reason I started rescuing people here, because it was taking too long for the jet skis to come from GFD. I had the people running the jet ski operation make bad decisions and tell me to go back to my house. So I started rescuing them before they got here, and it worked.
Yeah, no, those are the things that we got to think about.
We really have had, I think, a run of good luck. Not a lot of drownings as far as I can tell, some near drownings, but water safety is always critical all over the island. But as Jeff is saying, the south, particularly this part, EPEN, is a bit isolated because it's not easy to get the boats down here. And so we do need to get a boat ramp. We just need more infrastructure into the south so that we don't have to be wishing that we did it later. So new leadership that's proactive, that's going to make a difference moving forward. And so now we're going to go to the part of the show where we actually vote, right? So we're not just going to complain, although we're getting good at it. We're going to vote. We're going to put our money where our mouth is and try to select our new leaders. Andrea, could you explain it a little better than me?
Okay, can you all hold up your cards so everyone can see it before we get started?
Which card?
Both of them.
We got 3.
No, you only said to have 2.
Oh my God, I cheated.
Okay, +1, -1, there you go. Okay, this is on the website, hafahour.com. Everyone can play with us every single day. Share with your employees, share it with your family. It's fun, you can win stuff. +1, -1. What we're doing here, keep it
I'm listening, I'm listening.
What we're doing here is everybody has a chance to +1 or minus a segment of the voters or candidates.
Okay.
That could be governor, senator, et cetera, on the website. So one by one, each of these guys are going to select or circle their +1 on the cards. Jeff, you have on the other card, and -1. And individually, they will explain why you +1 someone and why you -1 someone. So you all have a minute or so to explain and share with the public.
These were such nice cards. I don't want to mess them up.
Just-
They look like they cost $10 to print out.
No, I did not. Doc.
Okay, so we're going to do plus and minus, right?
Plus and minus. And please, when you're saying your plus and minus, hold up the card, the plus and minus.
Ah, okay.
Where do you put the plus and minus?
It's right here. So this is plus 1.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Then she's just going to ask you why. So this is the easy part. The hard part is...
Explaining yourself. No, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Doc? Oh, Doc has his card up. Okay, +1, explain yourself, Doc. You
Like that.
have,
Frank Bloss Jr.
Ooh, yeah.
So I did a +1 for Frank Bloss Jr. because he somehow convinced somebody who I think is, she's not a yes person. She's going to think independently, and she's going to be fiscally disciplined. And I think she's also going to be ruthless in her management of lazy workers. And her name is Mary Okada. And so Mary Okada is a Notre Dame High School grad. She has her own mafia. She has her own machine of very strong women who could probably land a lunar module on the moon. So we're about to find out, because this is a new force, a new entity entering into the gubernatorial race. And Frank Blas Jr.'s +1 comes from the fact that he's been able to resurrect his political career, where he basically got dumped by Mike Cruz and the Republican Party. Because if the last time we heard of Frank Blas Jr., not only had Mike Cruz convinced him that he should run as lieutenant governor, and Frank Blas Jr. apparently agreed for 5 minutes, then Mike Cruz disappears, and the Republican says, we don't want you to be running for Republican, because I don't think it's a secret. The Republicans told Frank, you promised not to run when the caucus was held for him to become speaker. Apparently Frank has amnesia about that, and so he's running for governor. And so within the Republican Party, there is animosity, particularly from the Calvo, Ada, Camacho group against Frank. So there's a lot of resources ganging up against him, and then he pulls this off. I mean, this is literally a half-court shot. He gets somebody who led the Democratic transition for Lulian Guerrero and Josh Tenorio, who helped name a lot of the key members of the cabinet, and someone who no one messes around with. And so yes, Mary Okada is the new force to be reckoned with, and Frank Blas Jr. gets a +1 for that.
You have to say Dr. Okada.
Dr. Mary Okada,
Okay.
who we hope to have on the show very soon.
Yes. Go ahead.
My -1 though is, and I hope I don't get this wrong, but I'm gonna stay on it, is to Paul St. Augustine. And I believe I gave him a -1 before, but I think he's responsible for this minimum wage hike. Is that correct?
Yes.
So yeah, the -1 is, dude, what are you doing? You know, it's like you don't want to win, right? I guess you're pandering to the minimum wage group. I hate to break it to you, but they can't get up to go vote because they don't wake up in the morning. Let's just be crystal clear. You're hurting the entire economy, and you didn't talk to anybody. You're doing a Lulian Guerrero where, why don't you come out and talk to the people who are having to shut down? You know, what bad timing. Lotte is pulling out of the airport. DFS is shutting down next month. Hafa is closed. There's a bunch of places closing. Was it Sushi Rocks? I mean, the list of places that are shutting down, and then you can see what Gavin Newsom's going through. They're shutting down places in California because of his stupid minimum wage policy. So again, sir, we respect you, we love you as a person, but this is like the third dumb economic idea you've had. The third one. So maybe you don't want to be governor, you just want to be named as a special projects coordinator by Santa Claus. I mean, no, wait a minute, you are running with Santa Claus. Okay, boo on you.
All right, Charlie.
Yeah. So I think Doc was actually looking over. So I may have to.
No. You can just say he's a genius.
Or maybe we think like maybe. I don't know if that's good or bad, but so.
You speak better than me.
+1, my +1 is exactly what Doc said, is Speaker Blas and Dr. Mary Okada. So finally announced. I think that this gives an opportunity for the people to get more folks to run in and look at different platforms. And so it was a rumor, now it's confirmed. That's my +1. My -1 is current Senator Joe St. Augustine, because I think that the intent and the way the bill was written is completely, I think it's missing a lot of the way they're using the price index and all these things that don't really do justice as far as being able to give people a better chance to live well. There's other ways to be able to make people have more money in their pockets, and raising the minimum wage and the way it's written right now is not the right way.
Lower taxes. Why don't you lower taxes, buddy?
Jeff, okay.
Yep, so my plus is for Frank and Mary. And Frank Blas's father was a good friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for his family. And I'm glad that he has Mary to come in with him, and I see it takes nerve and courage and money and everything to do this, okay? Of course, I'm an independent, so I'm not going to vote for him, but I voted for him today, all right? My minus is still Josh Tenorio, because I haven't seen him move on picking up these cars or anything that we're suggesting here. And I just feel that he's inadequate as a lieutenant governor or acting